Today, over a billion people follow a path laid out over 2500 years ago, which is Buddhism, the world's fourth largest religion. It often described not as a dogma of worship but as a profound science of the mind. It is less about believing in distant God and more about understanding the reality of our own hearts. Its ultimate objective to solve the fundamental riddle of human existence, the nature of suffering, by shielding the layers of greed and delusion. A practitioner aims to reach nirvana, a state of ultimate clarity and unshakable peace. While Buddhism grew from same soil as Hinduism, sharing the concepts of karma, the law of action, and samsara, the endless cycle of rebirth, it arrived as a spiritual revolution. In a world defined by rigid caste hierarchies and complex animal sacrifices, the Buddha's message was radical. He stripped away the rituals and rejected the necessity of a supreme deity. Instead, he made a bold claim that the power of liberation belongs to no priest or king, but sits directly in the hand of every individual. Our story begins in the 5th century BCE in the lush foothills of the Himalayas. Siddhartha Gautama was born a prince, shielded with the palace walls from the slightest hint of discomfort. For decades, he lived a life of absolute luxury, surrounded by silks, gold, and the promise of a kingdom. But the single journey beyond those walls changed everything. Witnessing the four sides of the fragility of old age, the pain of sickness, the finality of death, and the peace of wandering monk, Siddhartha realized that his riches were a golden cage. He walked away from his crown in the dead of night, trading his royal robes for the rags of a seeker. He spent years pushing his body to the brink, practicing extreme asceticism. He lived on a single grain of rice a day, believing that if he conquered the flesh, he would free the spirit. But as his body withered, he realized a profound truth. A string tuned too tight will snap, but one to loose will not play. This was the birth of the middle way, the path of balance. Under the white canopy of the Bodhi tree, he sat in final, iron-willed determination. As the morning star rose, the prince died, and the Buddha, the awakened one, was born. For the next 45 years, he walked the dusty roads of India, teaching a desperate world that the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion could be extinguished by a single, focused heart. At the core of Buddha's wisdom lies a medical-like diagnosis of our existence, the Four Noble Truths. He taught that suffering is universal, but it's not accidental. It arises because we desperately cling to the things that are, by their very nature, impermanent, like trying to hold a handful of water. To heal these, he provided a cure, the cessation of craving through a disciplined way of life. This treatment plan is the Eightfold Path. Imagine a wheel with 8 spokes, each supporting the other. It's a comprehensive guide for the mind and heart, categorized into 3 pillars: wisdom, right understanding and thought; ethical conduct, right speech, action and livelihood; and mental discipline, right effort, mindfulness and concentration. To walk this path, followers commit to the 5 precepts: a moral compassion to navigate the world without causing harm. This includes vows to refrain from taking life, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and the use of intoxicants that cloud the mind. What sets Buddhism apart is its invitation to doubt and to taste. It does not demand blind faith in a creator or a distant heaven. Instead, it offers a psychology of liberation. It treats the mind as the garden. Through meditation and mindfulness, we pull the weeds of impulsive reaction and plant the seeds of intentional peace. It is a journey from the chaos of wanting to the stillness of being. Buddhism's evolution from a local forest tradition into a global powerhouse began with an unlikely figure, the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. After a devastatingly bloody conquest of Kalinga, Ashoka stood amidst the carnage and felt a profound, soul-shattering remorse. He traded his sword for the Dharma, making Buddhism his state religion and carving its peaceful edicts into massive stone pillars across his empire. Ashoka's missionaries were the first to carry the flame beyond India's border. But it was the Silk Road that turned the flame into a wildfire. Carried by merchants and monks, the teaching crossed the treacherous Himalayas into Han China. Here, Buddhism did something remarkable. It did not just conquer, it merged. It harmonized with local Taoist philosophy, creating a unique spiritual language that would eventually give birth to the Jain. However, as the light spread abroad, it began to flicker in its birthplace. While the Mahayana school, the great vehicle, flourished, a series of historical shocks struck India. Invasions by the Huns and the rapid expansion of Islam in the north led to the destruction of great monastic university like Nalanda. By the 12th century, Buddhism had largely faded from Indian heartland. Yet, it was far from lost. It had already become the eternal spiritual bedrock for the emerald landscape of Thailand, the high plateaus of Tibet, and the tropical shores of Sri Lanka, ensuring its survival for 1,000 years to come. The Buddha's final message remains his most powerful. Be your own light, don't look for a light in another. It's a reminder that the path to peace is not found in the world outside, but in the quiet transformation of our own hearts.